And a good Wednesday to everybody, the 2nd of September 2020. My name is Jewel, and this is the Tropical Update. Lots of things are going on, folks. Of course, we have Tropical Storm Omar, shouldn't be any threat to land. Tropical Storm Nana, probably going to turn into a hurricane within the next 12 hours, if not sooner. And then we have these two disturbances. Now, none of this is wrote in stone, what I'm about to show you about these two systems. But anywhere from maybe Norfolk, Virginia, around the coastline of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, we really need to pay attention. And I'm going to show you why just a little bit later on in the forecast. But first things first, Omar is a tropical storm, 40-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving east-northeast at 14 miles per hour. No threat to anyone at this time. Now, Tropical Storm Nana, that's a different story. The winds are 60 miles per hour. This will reach hurricane strength of a Category 1 with 75-mile-per-hour winds before making landfall. The minimum central pressure is 996 millibars. Right at the moment, it's located at 17.1 north, 83.7 west, and it's moving west at 18 miles per hour. Then we come here to disturbance number 1. As of now, it's still just showers and thunderstorms, and it's associated with a low pressure about midway between the Windward Islands and West Africa. It's very disorganized at this time. It's remaining disorganized. Some development of the system, however, is possible this week as it just kind of meanders over the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. In 2 days, 20% chance, 5 days, 30% chance. Now, when we come to disturbance number 2, all of the surface observations and satellite diverted data indicate that a tropical wave has finally emerged off the coast of Africa. We've been talking about this for weeks. It's finally gotten off the coast, folks. Now, the wave is expected to merge with a disturbance centered a couple of hundred miles southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands in the next day or so. And gradual development of this system is possible, and a tropical depression could form by this weekend while it moves westward over the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. 2 days, 10%, 5 days, 60% chance. So, I'm going to show you all kind of things about these for the East Coast. I'm going to show you things about Nana right now that I want you to pay attention to. Before Nana makes landfall, you see there's Belize City. We go on down, we see all of this. This is right before she makes landfall. Closest point before landfall was 75 mile per hour sustained winds. You know, if you are in any of these areas, so be aware of it. After landfall, these coordinates are from the National Hurricane Center. You can see it should be moving in when it makes landfall. All of these areas right in here, I'm going to show you the storm. You're going to be affected. Everyone else in other areas are going to be affected. So please be aware of what's going on. This is not wrote in stone, and this track will be exactly in this area. This is what the National Hurricane Center is thinking at this time. This is a satellite data picture of Tropical Storm Nana at this time. I want you guys to understand something. It's going to cover a lot of area. You may get tropical storm stuff. You may get hurricane stuff. I will have the watches and warnings coming up in a moment. But I just wanted you to see the size of this. It hasn't materialized quite yet to a hurricane, but that's coming up in hours. So please be aware and stay safe. Here is the tracking map from the National Hurricane Center for Tropical Storm Nana. As you can see, we have hurricane watches up from Guatemala up to Belize and all the way up. We have tropical storm warnings, that's the blue, and tropical storm watches all across the northern coastline of Honduras. Please be aware and stay safe. We have a hurricane watch, as I've just showed you. It's in effect for the entire coast of Belize. A tropical storm warning is in effect for the Yucatan of Mexico, all the way for the entire coast of Belize, as you see. Tropical storm watch in effect for northern coast of Honduras, from Ponapasa westward to the Guatemalan border, the Roatan Island and Bay Islands of Honduras, the Caribbean seacoast of Guatemala also. Now, hurricane warnings will be issued for portions of the coast of Belize later this morning or early afternoon. They're saying later this morning. I'm going to give it till later this afternoon, maybe. Could be this morning, could be this afternoon. And tropical storm warnings will likely be issued for the Roatan Islands and the Bay Islands of Honduras later the day. I want to say thanks to all my subscribers down in Honduras and Belize and all of the island areas. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you to all of my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you so much for checking out all this with me. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click subscribe, click the bell, and check off all. Hazards that's going to be expected to happen with the wind. The tropical storm conditions are expected within the warning areas in Belize by tonight, with hurricane conditions likely over the portion of the area tonight and early Thursday. Tropical storm conditions are expected within the warning area in Mexico and Guatemala by tonight. Tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area in Honduras today. 3 to 5 feet storm surge. This should be near and to the north of where Nana makes landfall, near the coast, and the surge is going to be accompanied, of course, by large and destructive waves. When it comes to the rain, Nana is expected to produce accumulations through Thursday night of 3 to 6 inches, with an isolated pocket of 8 inches near the northern Honduras coast. Now, this is going to cause flooding, folks. If you live in that area, please prepare. Southern and central Belize, northern Guatemala, and the northern portion of Mexico State, 2 to 4 inches. In the southeast portion of the Mexico State, Quintana Roo. Of course, we're going to have surf. We're going to have dangerous rip currents that are going to happen south, or the southern coast, I should say, of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, and it will spread along the coast of Honduras and Belize today and tonight. And please, these rip currents are dangerous. Be very, very careful. Now, what steering currents, what wind currents are steering these things? You can see here are the currents. This is the low level 200 to 700 HPA layer. I'll show you the higher level. Of course, here's Omar. He's all wrapped up in this, but he's moving on out. You can see these steering currents moving him on out. When it comes to Nana, all of these are bringing them in right down in this area here. As we have seen, this is the lower level. When we go to the higher level, well, here's the higher level. Right in here. Here is the higher level winds. Omar, right here. Steering currents, taking it up, moving it down, moving it out. Shouldn't bother anybody really at all. Here is Nana, all of the currents at the higher levels of 700 to 850 HPA, bringing it right in as to where we've seen. Now, when we get back to what popped up a while ago, I wanted to show everybody this. This is the Tropical Atlantic VSHD, and what this is, the vertical shear. Now, it's over a period of a year. As you can see, we started out in January over here. Rather high shear is up. It starts to come down slowly but surely as the months pass by. Well, now we're here in September, and right around the peak, the middle of September, it drops down to its lowest point. So when it comes to vertical shear, it's going to keep falling a little bit right now. Now we see where some has picked up throughout all of this. The black line's what it usually is the guide to go by. You can see how some of it has picked up, but the line itself continues to fall. That's why it's so important for nobody to let their guard down and think that the vertical shear will destroy a storm. It could. I'm not saying it couldn't, but there's a good possibility. It won't make a lot of difference, as we've seen with Isis. It just pushed on through, didn't pay dry air, vertical shear, no mind at all. Same happened with Hurricane Laura and Hurricane Hannah. So we have more coming. We need to keep this in the back of our head. Now, this is the NCEP. I told you what all this meant and went over this the other day. This is the Tropical Cyclone Genesis. Will these things mature? This is from now until 100 hours out. You can see that, yes, this has 100% right here. This is looking like all these are. Don't worry if you're in the Gulf Coast. I know you see this. This is nothing to worry about whatsoever. Okay, not of now. This is nothing to worry about. Everybody from Florida down through Texas and this portion of Mexico right here, you're going to be okay. Nothing to worry about as of now. These are the ones I wanted to point out. As you can see, they are steering mostly upcoming this way when I was talking about portions of the Mid-Atlantic and southern sections of Florida coastline here up until possibly a little bit of Virginia. As we move ahead, this is the 2-day. You can see these two systems right over here. They're all going to be coming up. Will they turn? It depends on many, many factors. The steering currents, the dry air, all kind of different things, the highs, the lows. So much I can't get all into this. I am not saying, once again, that this area that I pointed out will have a hurricane from these systems. I am saying there is a possibility of a tropical storm or maybe a hurricane that could brew up in this time. Not saying it's going to happen. Everybody, you need to keep your eyes open. Here's a quick glance at the GEFS. Yeah, you don't hear me talk about that a whole lot. I just want to throw this up here right quick. As you can see over in Texas, this is 0%. This is just a low pressure system. That's all it is. We have them all the time, bringing flooding rains to many, many sections of the United States in this area. Over here, this is Nana. You can see where it looks like it's going to go in. And over here, this one, 50%. 50%. That's early for right now. And that's what the National Hurricane Center is looking at also. And it's going to be tracking up this way. Now, we all know we can't track out but so far because it changes. Everything changes in the blink of an eye. This is just something to go by to make sure you stay on top of things. This is the European model. I have this set for Friday, September 11th. As far out as it would go, to see if these still showed up on the European model, and they do. You can see this one right here looking like, for the most part, this is just regular sustained winds. I have this set on, not gust, but it's going to stay just north of the islands if it does take this track. And this one, moving off, it's right in here. It's probably going to follow the same thing. We have this high pressure up here. It's going to push down. We have just one little line of low pressure. That's a little pulling towards this way. That's why this one, as it rides the line, has moved further to the north. Now, when we set this on wind gusts, let's just see what they're looking like. And oh my goodness gracious, yes, we have some wind gusts. Right in here, we'll see 56 miles per hour. So that's looking like a tropical storm. But once again, it could be a tropical storm. It could be a hurricane by this time as things, change, or maybe it just disintegrates. Now, when we come over to this disturbance here, 58 mile per hour, and it hadn't even got going yet. So that's what it's looking like. Everybody right from, I'll say from Virginia down through Florida as of now, be aware of these systems. Don't panic, for goodness sakes. They may not even happen at all, but they could, and if they did, you need to be aware. So please keep up with this. I'll do my best to get reports out to you as things change. Everybody down in Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and all of those areas, my thoughts are with you guys. Please stay safe, because Nana is going to come in as a Category 1 hurricane with 75 mile per hour winds, and as it travels across, the sustained winds will be 60 miles per hour until it gets across a good portion of land. So please stay safe. Thanks so much for watching and sharing this information with your family and friends. That helps me out so much to keep people aware of what's going on and keep people safe. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day, and much peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching.